The blanks are the foundation of a good oboe reed. Just like when you're building a house, you need a strong foundation to support the walls and the framing, and to build a sturdy house, you need a sturdy blank and one that has good qualities to make sure it's going to be a good reed. And if you look out for these and you're really methodical and pinpointed in what you're doing when you're working on your blank or tying your blank, then you're gonna have better results in the end. So today I'm gonna show you one of mine and some things to look out for. And if you notice you have any of these things happen, you can adjust your blanks accordingly or retie, and you're gonna have better luck and success in the future. All right, so let's take a look at one of my blanks. There are a few things you wanna look out for when you're tying your blank. First of all, you wanna make sure your blank is overlapped in the right direction. Now, for those of you who tie with the thread in your right hand, you're going to overlap the way that I do. Okay, first things first. Take your ruler and measure from the bottom of the staple. I'm going to start mine at 1 to the top of the staple. I like to tie at 74 millimeters. You can tell this says 84, which means 74 because I started at 1. And then you want to look at the top of your thread. You want the thread to be 47 millimeters. And that's how long my staple is. And you take a look there. You can see the very tippy top of the thread it says 57, which is really 47 on this ruler. And that's the top of it. Now, let's imagine if it were, say I had tied slightly over. You see how that's just above 47, almost 47 and a half. That would be overtied. Now, if your reed is overtied, what's going to happen is that thread is going to squeeze the throat of the reed, and it's going to cause it to open up in weird directions. The blades of the reed might splay open at the top when you clip it open. So that's the first thing to look out for. Make sure you don't overtie your blank. The second thing to look out for is if you're tie right-handed like me, so I tie with the thread in my right hand, then your overlap will be offset the same way mine is. So this is the back of my reed, this is where the cross is. And you'll notice as I turn it to the side, the blades of the reed are offset by a little bit. And you can tell that this back of the reed away from me is behind the one closest to me. And if I turn it around, it's the same way. This side a little more so. You can tell this one overlaps to the right just a little bit more. Now if you tie with the thread in your left hand, you'll just overlap it the other way. But as long as they're overlapped in the same direction, so offset by a little bit, then you'll be just fine. So mine is offset this way. If you tie with the thread in your left hand, it'll be offset the other way. Neither one is right or wrong. It's just personal preference and how you tie your reed. But every now and then, if you're not paying attention, your overlap might not look like this. It might look like this. So maybe one blade of the reed is squeezing onto the other blade of the reed and it's not overlapped. So imagine this top blade, if it was in here and on the opposite side, the back of the reed would just squeeze this. And so that will actually cause your cane to lean. So you'll look at your reed and it'll be leaning this way a little bit. And so that's not going to produce a good reed either, and it can produce all sorts of pitch problems as well. The last thing I like to check for after I tie my blank on is I scrape a little bit off of the edge of the tip. And what this does is it just sets it up so that the reed has nice closure. So if you find in the past, if you don't do this and your reeds are opening up at the top or splaying open, this is really going to help you because it helps form the reed from the beginning stages. So I hope these quick tips helped you. Just remember, if you don't have a good blank, then it's going to be really hard to produce a good reed. So take time in the early stages as you're crafting your blank to make it really good. And you'll notice as your blanks improve, so will the quality of your reeds. So if you have any questions, let me know below. Also, if you want some more help or need some more tips, you can download my reed making troubleshooting guide. I'll put it in the description box below. And there I address some common problems that happen when you're reed making and some possible solutions to fix them. So check it out, and until then, I'll see you in the next video.